Hi, my name is Annika Dawson. I attend Oak Bay Secondary School and am currently doing a project on Shakespeare's Macbeth for my English 11 class. I will be going through Shakespeare's life and times and also picking a passage which relates to the theme of ambition to analyze from his play. To begin, I am going to be going through some of the events of Shakespeare's life. He was baptized on April 26, 1564, and as it was custom for children to be baptized a few days after birth, he was most likely born on April 23, 1564. He was the third child of John Shakespeare and Mary Arden. And at the age of 18, Shakespeare got married to a woman named Anne Hathaway. She was some years older, and the marriage seemed to have been a hasty affair. Their first child, Susanna, was born shortly after their marriage, and 2 years later, in 1585, they gave birth to twins, Hamnet and Judith. Before his marriage, rumor has him as an apprentice to a master butcher, as a country teacher, or an actor with some provincial company. However, no one really knows. He had supposedly run away from whatever he was doing to join a theatrical group in London. There were only 2 professional houses established at this time. The theatre opened in 1576, and the Curtain opened in 1577, which means he must have been a part of one of those. He was originally solely a holder of horses, which is a member of stage crew. However, after that, he became an actor, a writer, and a director. He was known to have his plays performed in the Globe Theatre. The theatre was open air in order to have light to perform with. In the theatre, there were certain sections for which the different levels of wealth sat. The nobles stood and sat from above. The poor sat on the ground, and they were either called earthlings, whom were allowed a cushion to sit on, or groundlings, who sat on bare earth. Going to see a play was entertainment for them, much like going to see a movie is for us. The Globe hung flags to let the public know which type of play were to be performed next. Black was tragedy, white was comedy, and red was politics. There also hung a flag which was displayed at all times. It bared on it Atlas holding the globe in his hands, as well as a Latin saying, "All the world is our playhouse." Shakespeare has a total of 37 plays, 154 sonnets, and many poems credited to him. The average length of a play in Elizabethan England was 3,000 lines, and with 4,042 lines and 29,551 words, Hamlet is the longest Shakespearean play written. On the other hand, Shakespeare's shortest play is The Comedy of Errors, with only 1,787 lines and 14,369 words. In 1597, 1 year after his son Hamnet died, Shakespeare bought one of the most prestigious homes in all of Stratford, the New Place. 19 years later, on April 23, 1616, Shakespeare died of unknown causes, the same day he was born. Now, I am going to be going over my analyzation of one of the passages from Shakespeare's Macbeth. The passage I chose to analyze is in Act 1, Scene 7, lines 45 to 80. Ambition is one of the main themes used in Macbeth. It is used in both a positive and a negative way. The following passage is an example of how Lady Macbeth uses ambition negatively in the play to gain the outcome she desires. At the beginning, it is shown how Lady Macbeth uses her words of manipulation to coerce Macbeth into killing King Duncan so that Macbeth may have a chance at being king. She uses cruel, dark, demeaning words to show Macbeth that she is going forward with her idea of murder, and that he must aid her. Lady Macbeth must immediately detect Macbeth's self-doubt. When Macbeth admits to her that his golden reputation might lose its gloss, she sets out to strengthen his resolve by mocking his perceived weakness. That made you break your enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more that what you were, you would be so much more the man. Lines 48 to 51. She adds a distinction between masculinity and femininity. In contrast to her own self-proclaimed manliness, she pours scorn upon her husband's lack of courage. She tells him he is a coward and that he resembles the poor cat who wanted the fish but would not get his paws wet. Finally, she tells him that her own lack of pity would extend to murdering her own child as it suckled on her breast. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this. Lines 56 to 57. With this one terrifying example, she confirms that the milk of human kindness is absent in her. The next paragraph starts with a shift in tone as Lady Macbeth turns her attention to the details of the murder itself. Macbeth is still not convinced, so she begins to explain how exactly she plans for Macbeth to kill Duncan. At the end of the passage, Macbeth leaves the scene saying, "I am settled," line 79. Macbeth has been convinced in words that uncannily recall his wife's. Lady Macbeth used her words of cruelty to undermine her husband and to convince him to do something which benefits her. I believe this passage shows a clear example as to how Lady Macbeth's ambition is used in a negative way to gain the outcome she desires.